Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 421. Special Life Groups. All right. There is no need to inform me about your conversation with the Supreme Being. The reason I called you here is to consider your overseeing duties in the star domain that lies ahead. The Chikuan Star Lord looked down at Lin Yuan and began to speak. As a teacher, when a disciple is about to travel far and manage a distant star domain, it's natural to make some arrangements. Your strength is much greater than that of your senior brother. In this respect, I am not worried. A smile appeared on the face of the Chikuan Star Lord. Being able to advance to the newly reached 8th layer and possess combat power close to the late stages or peak of the 8th layer is extremely rare in the entire Anon Star Alliance. And if you consider those under 100 years old, the Human Civilization Alliance can hardly find a few. The Chikuan Star Lord was unaware that the true age of Lin Yuan's spirit was over 1,000 years old. Nor did he know that the evolutionary path Lin Yuan had walked was one he had blazed from nothingness. Compared to being 1,000 years old, blazing a martial path, evolutionary path, is even more unthinkable. Xia Qin, the Evolver, even ranked Lin Yuan among the top 10 to 20 geniuses in the history of human civilization. But in a strange star domain, relying solely on strength is not enough. You also must have trustworthy subordinates, thought the Chikuan Star Lord. Two figures appeared not far away. These two figures, one with dark red skin and the other with sharp ears and green eyes, were obviously not human evolvers. Star Lord. The two figures bowed slightly towards the Chikuan Star Lord. From today onwards you will follow my disciple, pointed out the Chikuan Star Lord towards Lin Yuan and said. Yes. The two figures walked up to Lin Yuan. They? Lin Yuan's expression subtly changed. From close sensing, both figures were 8th layer beings, not just newly advanced ones. These two, as servants of mine, are not human evolvers. One is called Hongpi, mid-8th layer, and the other is called Levian, late 8th layer, he explained. There are no issues regarding their loyalty. With their aid, you will at least not be overwhelmed in the fringe starfield. The Chikuan Star Lord said casually. Teacher, this is too precious. Lin Yuan said earnestly. Having two loyally devoted 8th layer beings from different species under one's command was simply... Lin Yuan couldn't even describe his feelings. From the perspective of merit points, two 8th layer beings from another species were worth 2 million merit points. In fact, the real value of living 8th layer beings exceeded 1 million merit points, as an 8th layer being, if long stationed in battlefields of different species, could amass that many merit points over tens of thousands of years. Not to mention other incomes and gains. Why the formalities with me? With my current strength? Do you think I need them? The Chikuan Star Lord glared at Lin Yuan. But Lin Yuan felt somewhat conflicted. Although as an undefeated being of the 8th layer, the Chikuan Star Lord indeed did not need mid or late 8th layer subordinates. Not needing them didn't mean they held no value. Casually placing those two 8th layer beings in battlefields could earn the Chikuan Star Lord immense wealth over time. Having two 8th layer beings work for him was extravagantly luxurious. No more buts. Just take them and keep them. The Chikuan Star Lord waved his hand and said, Go back now. If there are any issues, just contact me in the virtual world. Thank you, teacher. Lin Yuan bowed earnestly to the Chikuan Star Lord. Although Lin Yuan possessed both Yin spirit and Yang spirit, the Yin spirit needed to be accelerated under the eternal spatial rift in the battlefields of different species to accumulate world-breaking origin force. The Yang spirit stayed at the Chikuan main star for protection. Relying solely on his true self, many tasks would be hindered in the fringe starfield. But with these two 8th layer subordinates, it was different now. Many things could be simply instructed.
tirteenpeaks.
Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Hongpi and Levian, the two eighth-layer beings of different species, stood in front of Lin Yuan. "Introduce yourselves," Lin Yuan said. "Peak Master, I am called Hongpi," said the dark red-skinned being. "My strength is at the mid-eighth layer. I follow the rules of fire and space, and my inner world spans 9,800 li," Hongpi quickly stated. "Peak Master, I am Levian," said the being with green eyes beside him. "I am at the late eighth layer, proficient in the rule of life, late eighth layer. My inner world spans 32,000 li. If the Peak Master sustains any injuries, as long as the soul has not completely collapsed, I dare not say I can save you, but at least I can ensure you won't die for a short time," Levian said. "Rule of life." Lin Yuan took another look at Levian. The rule of life, along with the space and time rules, is one of the foundational rules of the cosmic starry skies. Currently, Lin Yuan's understanding of the rule of life was just a bit more than elementary. "I understand." Lin Yuan nodded. "Normally, you will stay in my inner world." Lin Yuan glanced at the two beings, his thoughts shifted, and he absorbed them into his inner world. In his inner world, Lin Yuan was akin to a creator god, capable of effortlessly mobilizing the power of an entire world. "This time, teacher has really helped me tremendously," Lin Yuan thought silently. With the assistance of Hongpi and Levian, Lin Yuan felt much relieved. To establish a star domain and govern billions of citizens involves aspects in every direction. Having two capable assistants relieved him of so much concern. Half a day later. "Master, your custom-ordered layer, a cosmic spacecraft, has arrived." The voice of the intelligent assistant rang in Lin Yuan's ears. "The spacecraft has arrived." Lin Yuan's spirits lifted slightly. The cosmic spacecraft Lin Yuan had purchased before were the most ordinary standard ones, only barely passable in performance. The wormhole shuttles it carried out were incomparable in both range and cooldown time to those of B-layer and A-layer spacecraft. Chapter 422. Of course, back then, Lin Yuan didn't care too much about the spaceship's performance, since the ones riding the spaceship were his Yin spirit and Yang spirit. As long as it could be used to travel, that was enough. However, now that Lin Yuan was about to head to the fringe starfield, and it was his true self going, he needed a high-quality cosmic spaceship. This kind of cosmic spaceship not only has a tremendous advantage in speed, but, in escaping and preserving one's life, it also has miraculous effects. Lin Yuan stepped out of the Great Hall and immediately saw a black spaceship parked there. From the outside, this spaceship didn't look much different from those standard-issue spaceships, but the aura it emanated caused faint vibrations in the air. The spaceship was only 500 meters in size, with faint engraved patterns on its surface. These patterns were manifestations of the essence of rules, which could let the spaceship travel faster and more easily through wormholes. Not bad, not bad. Lin Yuan's mind was pleased. The spaceship was entirely forged from red copper gold. Ordinary attacks from an 8th layer strong one basically couldn't break its defenses. From startup to wormhole shuttle, the fastest time needed was only 12 seconds. 8,000 cubic universe crystals. Lin Yuan thought about the value of this cosmic spaceship and couldn't help but feel emotional. As a star domain lord, he certainly couldn't be traveling in those standard-issue spaceships. An A-grade cosmic spaceship would be enough for Lin Yuan to use for a very long time. In human civilization, using spaceships to travel is the most common choice, even for 9th rank evolvers who have fully grasped a complete core space model and mastered long-range teleportation. If there wasn't anything urgent, they would also usually travel by spaceship. Long-range teleportation techniques require evolvers to integrate with the space rules, and in an instant, move hundreds to thousands of light-years along with the wave of space. Consumes one's mind and spirit greatly. Generally, a 9th rank evolver would need to rest after not too long a time. Like Vice Tower Master Nalen, who traversed countless tens of thousands of light-years within half a month to deliver the soul-settling pearl to Lin Yuan. A 9th rank evolver wouldn't be capable of that. After storing the A-grade cosmic spaceship, Lin Yuan returned inside the Great Hall. It's about time to leave, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Yang spirit. With a slight thought, a phantom shadow walked out. It condensed into substance. looking face to face with Lin Yuan. "From now on, you will be stationed here," Lin Yuan said, instructing the Yang spirit. "And this drop of essence blood." Lin Yuan left behind a drop of essence blood. The blood rebirth, physical body divine ability, allowed Lin Yuan to completely control every drop of his essence blood, for within it was infused with fragments of his soul true spirit consciousness, which treasures to take along as the true self heads to the Milky Way star region. Lin Yuan began to ponder. First and foremost was the soul-settling pearl, bestowed by the Xiaqin Supreme Being. This treasure was Lin Yuan's biggest safeguard for preserving his life in front of a Supreme Being. He definitely had to carry it on his person. 8th layer soul defense artifact, water droplet. Also that 8th layer armor. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment and decided to bring these two items as well. Lin Yuan had always valued defense concerning the soul aspect. Origin fine gold. With a thought from Lin Yuan, a bell-shaped weapon appeared before him. This bell-shaped weapon was only palm-sized, but the aura it faintly emitted was even more formidable than that 8th layer soul defense artifact. "Let's not bring this." Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The reason was twofold. First, having just advanced to the 8th layer, the origin fine gold needed time to be nurtured to keep up with Lin Yuan's realm strength. Second, with the 8th layer soul defense artifact, 8th layer armor, and the magic jade mark enhancement, Lin Yuan believed that his defenses had already reached the extreme at his current stage. Even against an invincible 8th layer being, he could withstand a few blows without dying to a soul attack like Oin. Unknowingly, Lin Yuan had entirely surpassed Oin, a late-stage 8th layer evolver from 1,000,000 years ago. The current origin fine gold wasn't of much enhancement to Lin Yuan, at least not enough for a qualitative change. Bringing it or not didn't make much of a difference. The current situation in the Milky Way star region. Lin Yuan opened the data and began to read it carefully. The Milky Way star region originally belonged to the territories of the Shadow Tribe. And the Shadow Tribe, while not a peak clan, was still one of the most powerful clans just under the peak clans, with a force much stronger than the Heiyuan clan. After defeating the Shadow Tribe on the battlefield, human civilization claimed vast territories, including the Milky Way star region that Lin Yuan needs to oversee. Within the Milky Way star region, apart from the Shadow Tribe, there existed some special life clans and solitary alien strong ones. These special life clans and solitary alien strong ones either dominated a cosmic secret realm or several constellation systems. When the Shadow Tribe was still around, they got along quite well with these special life clans and solitary alien strong ones, not infringing upon each other. Now that the Shadow Tribe has been repelled, the entire Milky Way star region has fallen into the hands of human civilization, and it is up to Lin Yuan to decide how to deal with these special life clans and solitary alien strong ones. 9 major special life clans, 13 solitary alien strong ones? Lin Yuan reviewed the data. These clans had not yet taken hostile actions against human civilization. How should they be dealt with? Lin Yuan understood clearly that if the Shadow Tribe had left these clans intact, it must have felt that dealing with them directly would be troublesome. It was very likely that these special life clans or solitary alien strong ones were either difficult to handle or had many backgrounds, making the Shadow Tribe hesitant to provoke them. Let's see what their attitudes are when the time comes. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment, feeling sure about his course of action. At the edge of human territories, a vast star domain, a gigantic figure was devouring one planet after another, unrestrained.
So satisfying, so satisfying.
Everything in this universe was meant to be our food. With those Shadow Tribe in charge before, I had to be cautious, but now that they've been defeated and withdrawn from this star domain, these planetary resources are all mine. This enormous figure, similar to an octopus and blood red all over, would envelop a planet with its numerous tentacles, and within days, consume the entire planet. It's a pity these resource planets are somewhat hard to digest. If they were life planets, the blood-red octopus's heart thrummed with excitement. A life planet teeming with billions of lives, devouring so many lives all at once, the countless flesh and souls, made the blood-red octopus tremble with excitement. Let's search and see. It would be best to find a few indigenous planets. The blood-red octopus immediately extended its massive perception, spreading in all directions. With the shadow tribe's retreat, they must have taken their kin with them. But in such a large star domain, there naturally remained many planets that hadn't been discovered yet. Perhaps amongst them were life planets. Several months later, the blood-red octopus was contentedly devouring several life planets. Countless lives became the nourishment for the blood-red octopus, bringing it pleasure that made its soul shiver. Ha 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 ha. I'll digest for a while first. The blood-red octopus returned to a massive planet, its lair, where it usually practiced or slumbered. The figure of the blood-red octopus shrank rapidly, transforming into a being with dozens of arms. Aodu, you're back? On the other side of the massive planet, a gigantic mountain of flesh sent out psychic waves. This meaty mountain was a special life form, on good terms with the blood-red octopus, and the two often communicated with each other. How many planets did you ingest this time? The enormous meaty mountain asked casually. Just over a dozen. But those resource planets are too hard to digest, so I secretly devoured a few life planets, and that feeling. The blood-red octopus spoke with delight. Life planets? The enormous meaty mountain felt a bit tempted as well. Wait till I've digested, and then you can follow me. The two of us will go and devour those life planets together, the blood-red octopus said. It possessed a special talent that allowed it to detect many planets in the nearby region. Otherwise, how could it so easily find life planets in the vastness of space? Forget it. Aodu, you'll also need to restrain yourself in the future, the meaty mountain said. Restrain? Why should I restrain? The blood-red octopus asked, puzzled. This star domain is territory yielded by the Shadow Tribe. You should know whom the Shadow Tribe surrendered it to, right? The meaty mountain said, I've got the message that not long from now, a Star Lord of human civilization will come to sit in this star domain. Which Star Lord? Asked the blood-red octopus. The meaty mountain replied, The Galaxy Master. Chapter 423, Meeting the Galaxy Master. Galaxy Master? The crimson octopus Aodu thought hard, and finally shook his head, saying, Never heard of him. As part of the Peak clans, he had heard of all the somewhat famous 8th-layer evolvers of the human civilization, especially the likes of Wanyang Star Lord and Nine-Sword Star Master, invincible beings at the 8th layer whose names were known to all. But the Galaxy Master? The crimson octopus Aodu truly had not heard of him. Of course, you haven't heard of him. The massive flesh mountain glanced at Aodu. This Galaxy Master is a newly promoted 8th-layer evolver. His teacher is the Chikuan Star Lord. Chikuan Star Lord? The crimson octopus Aodu's spirit was shocked. Every single one of the invincible at the 8th layer controlled a unique cosmic force, especially a fearsome invincible being like Chikuan Star Lord. Even if he hadn't seen him, there was no way he wouldn't know of him. This Galaxy Master is quite famous, stepping into the 8th layer before 100 years of age. He is the top genius of this generation of human civilization. The massive flesh mountain knew many pieces of information about human civilization. It wasn't really considered intelligence, as the name of the Shursan Peak Master didn't need any inquiring at all. An 8th layer under 100 years old? The crimson octopus Aodu's expression was envious. Most of the human civilization's evolvers are like ants, but their rare talents truly make me envious. The crimson octopus Aodu, being a special life form, was at the 5th rank at maturity and could simply cultivate to step into the 6th rank. It didn't know how many years it took to reach its current 8th layer. But those top human talents had reached the heights where it resided in just a mere 100 or several hundred years. Of course, as a special life form, the crimson octopus Aodu's combat power surpassed that of a human evolver at the same level. But the gap between the two was not too significant. Below the 8th layer, human evolvers were crushed by special life forms of the same level. But after the 8th layer, upon opening up their inner worlds, the foundation of human evolvers was transformed, eliminating the fear of most special life forms at the same level. I am just warning you to be a little more cautious these days. Human civilization is not like the Shadow Tribe, the massive flesh mountain said. You'd better reduce the frequency of devouring life planets. Human civilization values their planets quite a lot. Humph, I am, after all, an 8th-layer special life form, coming from the Star Alliance. Would he, the Galaxy Master, really trouble me over a few mere planets? The Crimson Octopus AO snorted coldly. In reality, it had already planned to heed the advice of the massive flesh mountain and behave for the time being. At least, it had to figure out what the disposition of this Galaxy Master was like. If he was as tolerant as the Shadow Tribe, then its future days would be very comfortable too. Star Alliance? The massive flesh mountain shook its head slightly. The Star Alliance comprised special life forms that banded together to resist the Human Civilization Alliance and the Insect Race Alliance. Special life forms, being scarce in number, simply couldn't form the massive clans like the human race or the insect race. To contend with humans and insects, they could only unite with one another. Of course, even so, the members of the Star Alliance were still not many, with most of them scattered throughout the universe. Our star domain is about to welcome a new master, named the Galaxy Master. Will the name of this star domain also become the Milky Way star region? This Galaxy Master has an incredible background, being the disciple of Chikuin's Star Lord, and also the unparalleled genius of human civilization. I hope that this Galaxy Master will treat us like the Shadow Tribe did. That would be good. Not clear, every Star Lord of human civilization has a different temperament. If the Galaxy Master is cordial with us, of course, it would be a good thing. Although the personality of the Galaxy Master is unknown, he is very young, so he should not have much desire to kill. Inside the Milky Way star region, various special lifeform clans and reclusive different species lone walkers were quietly discussing. They had gotten along pleasantly with the Shadow Tribe, who had conceded many interests to stabilize them. Now that a new master from human civilization had taken over this star domain, these clans and individual wanderers were naturally anxious, unsure of what awaited them. The lone walkers and special lifeform clans had settled here for lengthy eons. If possible, they naturally did not wish to move. This was also why they still hadn't left after the Shadow Tribe's retreat. Regardless of who the master of this star domain was, as long as it didn't target them, everything would be all right. Chikuin Main Star. Lin Yuan stepped out of the Great Hall and entered the lair, a cosmic spaceship, ready to head for the galactic star region. From today on, I'll call you Silver Galaxy. Lin Yuan set the destination as Milky Way star region, and left the rest to the smart controls. With the control intelligence of Silver Galaxy, the entire journey was hardly a concern for Lin Yuan, who could freely choose the optimal route. Master, starting now, it will take 5 years to reach the Milky Way star region. A sweet voice echoed in Lin Yuan's ears, belonging to the control intelligence of the Silver Galaxy. 5 years. That's fine. Lin Yuan nodded. Without the Silver Galaxy, if he had to take those standard cosmic spaceships, he wouldn't think of reaching his destination in less than 20 years. The performance of the Silver Galaxy didn't just involve wormhole shuttle over large distances, but the cooldown between 2 wormhole shuttles was also not long. Whoosh! The Silver Galaxy turned into a black lightning bolt, instantly reaching the star platform of Chikuin Main Star, then sailed deep into the cosmic starry sky. Finally, the space slowly rippled with fluctuations, directly engaging in wormhole shuttle. Inside the Silver Galaxy, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. 5 years, which might be brief for other evolvers, were extremely precious for cultivation in Lin Yuan's eyes. With his against heaven's understanding of enlightenment, 5 years were enough for him to make significant progress. Chapter 424. You should know, this is not about traversing worlds, it is the main world. In the traversing worlds, Lin Yuan had an abundance of time, but lacked many of the conveniences of the main world. For instance, the continuously fluctuating origin source of the battlefields of different races could provide Lin Yuan great benefits in comprehending the Space Core model. There was also that segment of a body from a supreme being of the Magic Jade Tower within the virtual world. Of course, the traversing worlds also have their advantages, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Inner world. It was vast and boundless, almost 30,000 miles in circumference. When he had newly advanced to the 8th rank, Lin Yuan's inner world had swelled to a circumference of 25,000 miles. But through cultivation and the continual enhancement of his understanding of space rules, the expansion speed of the world had increased noticeably. Now it had even reached 28,000 miles. In the southeast corner of the inner world, Hongpi and Bian, the two 8th rank alien race members, had a numb look in their eyes. Ever since they were brought here by Lin Yuan, the shock in their hearts had never ceased. Wasn't it said that Peak Master Shursan had just entered the 8th rank? Could someone who had just entered the 8th rank possess such a vast inner world? After exchanging a glance, Hongpi and Bian only felt their mouths becoming parched. Normally, the inner world of someone who had just entered the 8th rank would only have a circumference of 100 miles. Subsequently, as one cultivated further and deepened their understanding of space rules, the inner world would gradually expand. But as for Lin Yuan, Hongpi and Bian, the two 8th rank members of the alien race, swallowed hard. Both in middle and later stages of the 8th rank together did not have an inner world 1/3 as large as that of Lin Yuan, who was in the early stages of the 8th rank. It was simply inconceivable. I finally understand why the Star Lord told us to follow the Peak Master and said what he did at the time. Hongpi was silent for a while before speaking dryly. The words Chikuan Star Lord had spoken roughly meant that they should simply follow Lin Yuan's commands. As for protecting Lin Yuan, not a word was mentioned. At that time, Hongpi and Bian were somewhat puzzled. If Lin Yuan, as someone who had just entered the 8th rank, was going to sit in the fringe starfield, wasn't their mission to ensure his safety? Now it seems that Peak Master Shursan, who had just entered the 8th rank, did not need their protection at all. Based on the range of the inner world, Lin Yuan's strength was more than enough to easily crush both of them. The two 8th rank alien race beings pondered deeply. Their mission in following Lin Yuan was probably to handle the trifles, so that Lin Yuan would not waste his precious time on those matters. Abnormal, too abnormal. How could human civilization have such an abnormality? Hongpi couldn't help but say, a person who matched the 8th rank peak just after entering the 8th rank was a rarity even among those special life forms. Perhaps, this is why human civilization has become a peak clan? Bian murmured to himself in a low voice. The history of human civilization is not very long, only a little over 2 million years. But within such a short time, human civilization leapt to become a peak clan dominating the starry skies, because they gave birth to one genius after another. Here, genius does not simply refer to those talented in evolutionary paths but includes geniuses in all other areas as well. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 5 years went by. In the Milky Way star region, a black cosmic warship emerged from the wormholes. "Master, we have arrived at the Milky Way star region," said a sweet voice that belonged to the main control intelligence of the Silver Galaxy. Inside the warship, Lin Yuan slowly opened his eyes, hearing the sweet voice of the Silver Galaxy's main control intelligence. "At last, we've arrived." Lin Yuan looked through the spaceship, gazing at the outer starry sky. He saw a star domain that resembled a silvery river hanging in the starry sky, incredibly dazzling and beautiful. 5 years. Lin Yuan's expression was somewhat reflective. These 5 years had allowed him to make tremendous strides in various aspects. Firstly, in the aspect of comprehending the core space model, Lin Yuan had now penetrated the 2092nd kind. One should know that there are a total of 7,782 types of core space models. Having comprehended 2,000 types equates to having completed a quarter of the journey. Even Chikuan Star Lord had not fully penetrated all core space models. Once all the core space models were understood, it would be equivalent to mastering the complete space rules, and the vast universe would be his to traverse. Secondly, the opening of the Marshall Path Evolutionary Path's 8th layer part was significant. If the opening of the 8th layer part is divided into 10 stages, then Lin Yuan was close to completing the 2nd stage. Bear in mind, any evolution path's 8th layer part is crucial for becoming a grand evolver in evolution studies. The 8th layer part of the Marshall Path Evolutionary Path was even more difficult. Merely 5 years and he had reached the 2nd stage, Those grand evolvers would likely become despondent if they heard this. Even for an evolutionary scholar, starting from scratch to establish an 8th rank evolution path is no easy task. It requires a significant amount of time and energy, and even then, one may not necessarily gain the approval of the 3 goddesses. I've already conceived over 11,000 evolution paths. Why am I still just an ordinary member of the Magic Jade Tower? Lin Yuan pondered. In the 5 years since, Lin Yuan at intervals would comprehend that segment of his body. After advancing to the 8th rank, his realm had significantly improved. Even though he still had to withstand the psychic will pressure, his comprehension speed had definitely increased greatly. In just 5 short years, Lin Yuan had conceived more than 7,000 additional evolution paths. This was considering he only devoted part of his time to the task. Otherwise, it would have been even more. No matter. Just continue comprehending. Whether you're an ordinary member or a core one, what's crucial is enhancing one's own strength. Lin Yuan thought to himself, continuously conceiving new evolution paths, then dissecting them to extract their essence, which was his main goal. World-breaking origin force. I've accumulated 15 strands already. Lin Yuan felt the world-breaking origin force, inside the majestic and grand door to the myriad realms deep within his mind, a smile appearing on his face. For Lin Yuan, the more world-breaking origin force, the better, as it meant more opportunities for interdimensional travel. It also represented an incredibly powerful life-saving ability, because using 50 strands of world-breaking origin force allowed for physical body transference. On the surface, physical body transference meant his physical body could descend and travel between worlds. Such a method of transference had its advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage was that if one died while traversing worlds, it could mean actual death. The advantage, however, was that all enhancements in the traversed worlds could be synchronized with the physical body. Plus, when evading assassination from the main world, one could use physical body transference for evasion. The worlds selected for transference by the door to the myriad realms were not in the same dimension or plane as the main world. Once Lin Yuan comfortably hid within, even a supreme being would be left helpless and merely watch. Let's go. Directly to the main star. Lin Yuan commanded the Silver Galaxy. Whoosh! The Silver Galaxy once again turned into a bolt of black lightning, vanishing into the starry sky. Milky Way main star. This was a high-class life planet. Since Lin Yuan was appointed as the Galaxy Master and designated this planet as the main star of the Milky Way star region, human officials from nearby star domains had arrived early to carry out a Class B transformation on this life planet. Furthermore, a large army of human evolvers was stationed here. This evolver army, left behind after human civilization took over the star domain, acted as the new Star Lord's left and right hands. The Star Lord should be arriving soon. Everyone, be at your best. A man in an exquisite purple robe spoke in the skies above the Milky Way main star. Next to him stood a blonde man, and behind them a dense army of evolvers. The evolver army was mainly composed of 5th rank evolvers, governed by hundreds of 6th rank evolvers, with the purple-robed man and the blonde man, both 7th rank evolvers, acting as leaders. Our Star Lord is really wealthy, directly going for a Class B transformation of the main star. The blonde man whispered. Usually, newly advanced 8th rank evolvers are quite poor. When they go to a star domain to become a Star Lord, they opt for the free Class C transformation. A Class B transformation requires 100,000 cubic universe crystals, roughly equivalent to the entire assets of a senior 8th rank evolver, including their weapons and treasures. The Star Lord is an unrivaled genius. He stepped into the 8th rank at the age of 100, and his teacher is the Chikuan Star Lord. Just the gifts received at his 8th rank celebration probably exceeded 100,000 cubic universe crystals, incomparable to an ordinary 8th rank Star Lord, said the purple-robed man, glancing at the blonde man. Indeed. The blonde man nodded, his expression showing admiration. He had been shocked for a long time when he first heard that the Milky Way Star Lord was the Shursan Peak Master of the Chikuan Star Domain, a peerless prodigy of human civilization. All right. The The Star Lord is here. The purple-robed man seemed to sense something. His expression shifted slightly as he looked ahead. Space began to subtly undulate, and a sleek, black cosmic battleship appeared quietly. Greetings, Galaxy Master. The purple-robed man and the blonde man bowed together. Greetings, Galaxy Master. Behind them, a large army of evolvers knelt in unison, respectfully chanting, Greetings, Galaxy Master. Chapter 425. Lin Yuan's Arrival. Greetings to the Galaxy Master. Greetings to the Galaxy Master. Greetings to the Galaxy Master. Lin Yuan stepped out of the spaceship, facing the countless evolvers who bowed respectfully and knelt down to him. His mindset began to shift slightly. On the Chiquan main star, Lin Yuan had supreme power, and numerous evolvers showed him the utmost respect. But it all stemmed from the title of Chiquan Star Lord. Now, however, these evolvers were bowing to him as the Galaxy Master, to him, Lin Yuan. Rise. Lin Yuan said. Yes. The two leading evolvers, one in a purple robe and the other with a head of golden hair, straightened with reverence. You two must be Chun Bo and Jia Li, correct? Lin Yuan looked at them both. After confirming his position as Galaxy Master, Lin Yuan had received plenty of information, including details about Chun Bo and Jia Li. These two were specifically left behind by human civilization to help him take complete control over the Milky Way star region. Despite not being comparable to the two 8th-rank members of a different species that his teacher gave him, they were both 7th-rank evolvers. Yes, I am honored that the Star Lord remembers our names. Chun Bo and Jia Li replied with respect. All right, disperse them all now. Lin Yuan looked towards the dense crowd of evolvers behind them. Yes. Chun Bo nodded, turned to face the large army, and announced, The Star Lord orders you all to disperse. His voice quickly reached the ears of every evolver. Yes. By the will of the esteemed Star Lord. The large army of evolvers promptly dispersed in an orderly fashion. Star Lord, let me introduce you to the main star. Chun Bo immediately said. The Milky Way main star was vast, and although Lin Yuan had received relevant data in advance, it was impossible for everything about such a large star to be recorded. After roughly touring the main star, Chun Bo and Jia Li led Lin Yuan into a magnificent palace. The B-level modification of the planet is almost complete, isn't it? Lin Yuan asked. The modification of the Milky Way main star began as soon as Lin Yuan paid 100,000 cubic universe crystals. The nearby star alliance's evolvers hurried over and then started the transformation. Yes. The planet modification is entering the final phase and is about to conclude, Chun Bo immediately replied. The stronger the planetary defense system on the main star, the safer it was, and this gave Lin Yuan a sense of confidence and reassurance. That's quite fast. Lin Yuan nodded. Aside from the travel time, the planet's modification had been ongoing for at most 3 to 4 years. In such a short time, to have transformed this planet into a forbidden area capable of easily suppressing most 8th-rank evolvers was no small feat. Who would dare not exert their full effort when working for the Star Lord? Remarked Jia Li from beside him. The position of Galaxy Master was not merely a typical Star Lord. Not only was he the disciple of Chiquan Star Lord, but he was also a top-tier genius with limitless potential from human civilization. The workers surely put in all their effort for the modification of his main star, not daring to slack off in the slightest. Of course, the main reason was that Lin Yuan had paid enough 100,000 cubic universe crystals, of which the workers could also receive a share. I have 2 subordinates who will assist you with the management of the main star, Lin Yuan said, looking at Jia Li and Chun Bo. The 2 from a different species gifted by the Chiquan Star Lord, Hongpi and the one with blue eyes, were not only 8th rank, but also possessed extensive experience in managing planets. Managing a planet well, especially the main star that serves as the economic and political center of a star domain, required a significant degree of steering capability. All right, Chun Bo and Jia Li had no objections. For Lin Yuan, who was taking control of a new star domain for the first time, to place his trustworthy subordinates was perfectly normal. If Lin Yuan did not place his own people and trusted them completely, it would be Chun Bo and Jia Li who would feel anxious. Inner world. Hongbi and the one with blue eyes, both 8th rank members of a different species, had completely numbed themselves. 5 years. Just 5 years. For them, such a span was not even enough for a nap. Yet, under the watchful eyes of the two 8th rank beings, Lin Yuan's inner world had exploded from nearly 300,000 miles in circumference before his departure to 700,000 miles. It had expanded by a full 400,000 miles. Is this even human? Hongbi and the one with blue eyes steadied themselves, trying to recover from the shock. Originally, they speculated whether Lin Yuan, newly advanced to the 8th rank, reached nearly 300,000 miles in his inner world by relying on some space-related rare treasure. Some treasures hidden deep in the cosmic starry skies were of great help in crafting an inner world, although there were many thresholds to using these treasures. At least it could somewhat explain how Lin Yuan's inner world reached nearly 300,000 miles when he first advanced to the 8th rank. But the events of the past 5 years had undoubtedly shattered the cognition of the two members of the 8th rank alien race. They watched step by step as Lin Yuan's inner world expanded daily, monthly, and yearly, until it reached the current circumference of 700,000 miles. Using some spatial treasures to boost the size of one's inner world upon its initial creation was imaginable. But to keep expanding after that would depend solely on one's comprehension of the space rules. In other words, Lin Yuan's expansion in the past 5 years was purely based on his understanding of the space rules. An inner world of 700,000 miles in circumference. Hongbi and the one with blue eyes forced themselves to remain calm. They had seen inner worlds of 700,000 miles. The Chikuan Star Lord's inner world was even much larger. However, to soar from nearly 300,000 miles to nearly 700,000 miles in just 5 years, this was unheard of for them. Even the favorite child of the spatial origin source, the starry sky wanderer Kuan, born with its own inner world, could not possibly have such freakish growth in its core spatial model comprehension. Chapter 426. The two 8th rank alien species didn't know that most of Lin Yuan's time and energy had been devoted to perfecting the 8th stage martial Tao and contemplating the evolutionary path. If he fully immersed himself in understanding the core model of the space rules, the explosive growth of the inner world would have increased by a large margin. The Peak Master wants to let us out? We have already arrived at the Milky Way main star. Hongbi and the alien with green eyes showed a slight change in their expressions as they received the message from Lin Yuan. In a flash, the two of them disappeared from the inner world. Milky Way main star central palace. Lin Yuan sat on the throne, looking down at Chun Bo and Jia Li. The next moment, Hongbi and the alien with green eyes appeared in the Great Hall. These are the subordinates under the Star Lord? Seeing Hongbi and the green-eyed alien, Chun Bo and Jia Li were overwhelmed with shock. 8th rank. Both of them were at the 8th rank. Chun Bo and Jia Li's eyelids twitched involuntarily. Newly advanced to the 8th rank, yet possessing two subordinates of the 8th rank, such a move was simply, do they really think 8th rank powerhouses are like cabbages on the side of the road? Available in abundance? Chun Bo and Jia Li recognized once again the fearsomeness of Lin Yuan's background. How much affection did the Chikuan Star Lord have for him? The four of you will henceforth be responsible for many affairs within the Milky Way star region, Lin Yuan said. Yes. Chun Bo and Jia Li responded immediately. Yes. Hongbi and the green-eyed alien also responded in kind. By the way, I need the detailed information on those special beings and alien lone walkers in the current star region, as well as their actions over the years. The more detailed the better, Lin Yuan stated. Having become the Star Lord of a star domain, Lin Yuan naturally wouldn't allow anything beyond his control to exist within his domain. Those special beings and alien lone walkers fell within Lin Yuan's priority focus. Yes. Chun Bo and Jia Li bowed and said. After the four left, only Lin Yuan remained in the palace. My current strength, in terms of combat power, I have thoroughly reached the peak of the 8th rank, right? Perhaps even among the strongest below the 8th rank invincible. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Just the inner world spanning 70,000 miles in radius alone was sufficient to elevate Lin Yuan's combat prowess to the peak of the 8th rank. Moreover, the martial path evolutionary path that Lin Yuan practiced was particularly adept at fighting, and overpowering stronger opponents with weaker strength was as easy as turning one's hand. Why could the martial path evolutionary path overwhelm the two top 8th rank evolutionary paths on the Qigong evolution rankings at the 7th rank level? Potential might be one aspect, but in terms of combat power, the martial path evolutionary path displayed an overwhelming advantage. From the first tier chapter to the 7th rank chapter, and now to the 8th layer part that Lin Yuan had created, each step of the martial path evolutionary path was derived from Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, striving for perfection in every detail. Below the 8th rank invincible I have few rivals. Even if I encounter an 8th rank invincible, as long as I don't foolishly clash head-on and choose to flee instead, I shouldn't have any problems. Lin Yuan assessed himself. Those at the 8th rank invincible master a cosmic force placing their combat power above the 8th rank, but with Lin Yuan's current means of preservation at least he wouldn't be like Oin, unable to withstand even a single move. In terms of soul defense, Lin Yuan had the 8th rank soul defense treasure to guard him, the magic jade mark to protect him, and a spirit will almost reaching 14,000 points. Even against soul-type 8th rank invincible evolvers, Lin Yuan believed he could withstand dozens of moves without dying. For physical defense, Lin Yuan had 8th rank armor to protect his body and the physical body divine ability Blood Rebirth. Especially the latter, as long as Lin Yuan's physical body wasn't instantly crushed to nothingness, he effectively had an immortal body capable of quickly reborn. With these two methods of safeguarding his life, Lin Yuan might not be a match for an 8th rank invincible, but it wouldn't be easy for an 8th rank invincible to kill him either. Especially now that the Milky Way star region had been incorporated into the human civilization territory, Lin Yuan could, if he wished, summon a large number of human 8th rank evolvers in a short time. Several days later, Chun Bo and Jia Li delivered the intelligence on those special beings and alien lone walkers in the Milky Way star region. Lin Yuan carefully reviewed the information. These special beings are really too arrogant, Lin Yuan said after reading, shaking his head slightly. For those special lives birthed from the cosmos, it's instinct to consider everything within the universe as their possessions. Especially that being named Ao Du, who, every so often, needs to devour planets. Resource planets? Life planets? They are all mere dishes for Ao Du. Such behavior became most rampant after the Shadow Tribe retreated and human civilization was about to take over, even consuming dozens of life planets in a row. Life planets, suitable for living, hold extremely high strategic significance for human civilization. Only with a large population base can human civilization give birth to all sorts of geniuses. And those resource planets, most resource planets can't compare in value to life planets of the same level. But a minority of resource planets contain precious ores and rare treasures, like that dead resource star fought over by the Wangyue starfield and the Golden Dragon star domain. If the kind of precious ore it contains is fully mined, it would be worth 10,000 cubic universe crystals. Such a huge sum of cosmic crystals made the Golden Dragon star domain green with envy, tangling with the Wangyue starfield in a contested struggle. Mine. Those resource planets, life planets, they are all mine. Lin Yuan's brows knitted tightly. As a Star Lord, he could claim a small portion of all the resource planets within the boundaries of his star domain, even though they belong to human civilization. And those life planets, soon human civilization would embark on widespread migration toward the Milky Way star region. At such a time, the more life planets, the greater the benefits. This Ao Du cannot be allowed to remain, Lin Yuan decided in his heart. The Shadow Tribe was wary of Ao Du's strength and background, but Lin Yuan didn't care. Human civilization, waging wars in all 8 directions, had never feared anyone. I will deal with it personally. Lin Yuan stood up and walked out of the palace. Ao Du was an 8th rank special life, nearly reaching the peak of the 8th rank. Moreover, Ao Du had deep connections with another 8th rank special life. They both lived on the same planet. In the current Milky Way star region, only Lin Yuan had the strength to face Ao Du. Upon the vast planet, The huge meat mountain frowned upon watching the blood-colored octopus slowly return from outside the planet. Aodu, I've already told you to be more careful lately, try not to go out. That Milky Way Star Lord is probably close now, the gigantic meat mountain said gravely. What will you do if you annoy that Milky Way Star Lord by going out at a time like this? It wasn't afraid of that Milky Way Star Lord, but it did fear the Chikuan Star Lord behind him, and even more so, the Human Civilization Alliance behind him. A mighty special life. What's wrong with devouring a few planets? Aodu said nonchalantly. Lately, it truly had been low-key, no longer devouring life planets. But it still had to devour resource planets. Without the massive energy contained within them, Aodu's advancement to the 4th stage of the 8th rank would be indefinitely delayed. But what if the Milky Way Star Lord finds out? What will you do then? The colossal meat mountain asked. Milky Way Star Lord? A mere evolver not even 100 years old. Even if he stepped into the 8th rank, how strong could he be? What can he do to us? Aodu said with indifference. Oh, Milky Way Star Lord is easy to handle, but what about the Chikuan Star Lord? And what about the Human Civilization Alliance? The colossal meat mountain glanced at Aodu. The reason I've been telling you to keep a low profile, to be cautious, isn't because of the Milky Way Star Lord, but because of the Human Civilization Alliance. The Human Civilization Alliance has already included this star domain within its territory. If we want to live comfortably, we have to watch the faces of the Human Civilization Alliance. As for that Milky Way Star Lord, what's he even worth? The voice of the huge meat mountain thundered. Relax, I just devoured a few resource planets. If that Milky Way Star Lord dares to come. Odu was silent for a moment, then began to speak. However, he hadn't finished speaking when his expression subtly changed. The massive meat mountain life seemed to sense something as well, its expression suddenly shifting. Who's there? Outside the planet, a man clothed in blue armor, his eyes calm, stood with his hands behind his back, looking down from on high, and quietly gazing at Aodu and the gigantic meat mountain, smilingly said, Tell me, what do you plan to do if the Milky Way Star Lord dares to come? Before the words ended, the man extended his right hand. Ripples of space began to undulate, and the originally massive planet twisted and shrank violently, ultimately becoming the size of a palm, and was caught in the man's hand. Aodu and the colossal meat mountain life, at this moment, became two ants, filled with fear as they looked up at the Titan who loomed above them from the heavens. Chapter 427 I'm so scared. This is a mustard seed that can harbor the void? Aodu's expression was ugly. The scene they were witnessing now, the man standing in the starry sky had turned into a giant that reached up to the heavens and down to the earth. In fact, the man's stature had not changed. It was them and the planet beneath their feet that were rapidly shrinking under the compression of the space rules. Such a method could only be mastered by powerful beings with an extremely high understanding of the space rules. According to the definition of the space rules by human civilization, one must have penetrated at least 1,800 core space models to do so. Generally speaking, a powerful being who has penetrated so many core space models would likely be at the peak of the 8th rank. Aodu was familiar with all the peak 8th rank powerhouses in the Milky Way star region and the surrounding regions. But they had never heard of that man in the green armor before? Aodu was puzzled, feeling the space force pressing in from all around, which made their scalp tingle. It's the Galaxy Master. The massive fleshy mountain nearby recognized him at once. It was aware of much information about the Galaxy Master, including relevant images, and the current giant standing beyond the sky bore a strong resemblance to the Galaxy Master. Plus the sentence the other party had just said, Tell me, what do you plan to do if the Galaxy Master dares to come? The massive fleshy mountain was almost certain that the other party was the Galaxy Master. The Galaxy Master?
Aodu vasomavat.
They turned their head to look at the massive flesh mountain with confusion. Wasn't it said that the Galaxy Master had newly advanced to the 8th rank? How then could he reduce nearly 10 million li of planets to mesons with a mere wave of his hand? This level of spatial comprehension was not something even a peak 8th rank powerhouse might achieve, yet the Galaxy Master, who was just newly advanced to the 8th rank, had done it? Starry Sky Alliance, Shang Shan, has seen the Galaxy Master. The massive fleshy mountain did not pay attention to Aodu's disbelief and hastily spoke with a hint of respect. Although it also found it hard to comprehend how the Galaxy Master could possess such tremendous strength. Now was not the time to contend over these matters. The most important thing was to ease the atmosphere between them. Starry Sky Alliance, Aodu, has seen the Galaxy Master. Seeing this, Aodu also followed suit immediately. Use special life forms, taking advantage of your noble bloodlines to act recklessly one after another. Now this star region is the domain of human civilization, wantonly devouring planets. Lin Yuan spoke indifferently. Do you really think we humans are like the Shadow Tribe? The Shadow Tribe, when dealing with these special life forms, was very tolerant. One reason was a reluctance to offend the forces behind these special life forms, and the other was that these special life forms themselves are not easy to deal with. Thus, normally, the strong ones of the Shadow Tribe would turn a blind eye, such as Aodu, who enjoyed devouring planets. As long as it was not too excessive, they would not interfere. We were wrong, Galaxy Master. The color on the massive fleshy mountain's face changed slightly. Through these words, it sensed that the Galaxy Master was somewhat dissatisfied. After today, we will obediently leave and will definitely not appear before the Galaxy Master again. The massive fleshy mountain Shang Shan immediately said. Even if the Galaxy Master truly was only newly advanced to the 8th rank, upon learning of his attitude, the best choice for the two special life forms was to leave. After all, as the master of a star region, the Galaxy Master had plenty of ways to deal with them. Call on friends? Ask a teacher to intervene? These were all possibilities. Moreover, the strength that the Galaxy Master had just displayed was not inferior to that of a peak 8th rank, and his ill will was entirely unbearable for the two special life forms. You've swallowed so many of my planets, and you think you can just walk away lightly? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, and with a mere thought, a tremendous force began to press down on the planet in his hand. Boom! Terrifying power swept across the surface of the planet. Lin Yuan still held back, otherwise the planet would have collapsed instantly. Not good. The massive fleshy mountain's form suddenly swelled up, struggling to withstand the crushing force from all directions. However, Shang Shan had a premonition that it couldn't hold out for long. How can this Galaxy Master be so monstrous? Is this what you call being newly advanced to the 8th rank? Is this what you call under 100 years old? The massive fleshy mountain Shang Shan felt bitterly distressed. It looked at Aodu not far away, who had been forced to reveal their true form, but under the Galaxy Master's mustard seed technique, Aodu's true form was only the size of a little finger, devoid of all the majesty of a special life form, and instead seemed somewhat cute. Galaxy Master. After struggling for over a dozen breaths, the massive fleshy mountain life form, Shang Shan, once again spoke. I am willing to pay 20,000 cubic universe crystals to compensate for the loss of the Star Lord. The massive fleshy mountain life was inwardly bitter. Most of the planets it had devoured were during the time when the Shadow Tribe ruled this star region, but there was nothing it could do, as now everything was decided by the Galaxy Master. I am willing as well, Aodu also said. They were also finding it hard to hold on. 20,000 cubic universe crystals? Lin Yuan glanced at the two special life forms. A normal 8th rank powerhouse might possess a number of universe crystals ranging from a few thousand to 10,000. Human beings who advanced to the 8th rank were somewhat wealthier, but not by much, at most just over 10,000. But these two special life forms were willing to cough up 20,000 cubic universe crystals straight away, clearly quite wealthy. This was understandable, as special life forms had long lifespans and many talents and abilities, which over the long years accumulated to make each of them excessively rich. What do you say, Galaxy Master? 20,000 cubic universe crystals should be enough to compensate you, said the massive fleshy mountain life form Shang Shan, bleeding inwardly. It had cultivated the doppelganger skill, and its true body was in a distant star domain, but even so, This doppelganger that it had refined over many years nearly matched its true body in combat power. Chapter 428. If he were to fall, knowing how many years it would take to once again refine such a true body was beyond one's imagination. As long as this avatar is preserved, sacrificing some cosmic crystals is acceptable. The immense fleshy life form thought to itself. Over the long years, the investment in this avatar had been much more than 20,000 cubic cosmic crystals. Foolish. Lin Yuan did not stop, driving the immense power of the world, and continued to crush forward. If I killed you, wouldn't all those cosmic crystals be mine anyway? Galaxy Master, do you really plan to leave no way out? The immense flesh mountain lifeform Shang Shan turned pale. It was willing to pay 20,000 cubic cosmic crystals. Yet the Galaxy Master still intended to wipe them out completely? Galaxy Master, do you realize that we are members of the Starry Sky Alliance? Have you asked the Starry Sky Alliance if you want to kill us? Aodu finally couldn't hold back and spoke out. If it weren't absolutely necessary, it really didn't want to bring up the Starry Sky Alliance, given that this meant completely falling out with the Galaxy Master.
Starry Sky Alliance.
The expression on Lin Yuan's face didn't change. The Starry Sky Alliance, many special life forms, formed to resist humans, the insect race, and other peak clans. However, the structure of the Starry Sky Alliance was loose. After all, it was composed of various special life forms, and they were not as cohesive as humans and the insect race. But it was not to be underestimated. The reason why the Shadow Tribe tolerated Aodu and Shang Shan was largely because of the Starry Sky Alliance behind them. But while the Shadow Tribe was wary of the Starry Sky Alliance, human civilization was not. Human civilization, with many evolvers, extracting countless special lifeforms' blood essence to create bloodline potions, was a bestseller. Correct? Galaxy Master. We are members of the Starry Sky Alliance. The immense flesh mountain Shang Shan immediately said. At this point, they could only bring up the Starry Sky Alliance. Starry Sky Alliance. Lin Yuan's corner of the mouth lifted. Ha ha ha! I'm so scared. Laughing, the terrifying soul fluctuations mixed with the force of the world, turned into a storm, heading towards Aodu.
No.
Facing the greatly increased assault, Aodu's body trembled. With a bang, it turned into a massive blood mist, even its soul rapidly dispersing.
Aodu.
The immense flesh mountain lifeform Shang Shan was shaken. Aodu didn't cultivate the doppelganger skill. With its death, it was truly dead. You can accompany it as well. Lin Yuan looked at the immense flesh mountain lifeform, not forgetting to collect Aodu's blood essence mist and the opponent's spatial devices, all into his bag. Since Lin Yuan dared to come, he was not concerned about the Starry Sky Alliance backing the two special lifeforms. The Chiquan Starlord had told him in the Milky Way star region, as long as he didn't betray human civilization, he could act freely, everything would be covered by human civilization. Galaxy Master, I will remember you. The immense flesh mountain Shang Shan glared at Lin Yuan viciously, seeming to activate some technique. Its body began to rapidly shrink, and finally, along with the ubiquitous space force fluctuations, it vanished in an instant. As a special life form, Shang Shan was much more cautious than Aodu. Upon learning that human civilization had taken over this star region, it reduced the frequency of devouring planets. In contrast, Aodu was still fishing in troubled waters. Its cautious character prepared many life-saving means for Shang Shan. This kind of spatial transposition skill was obtained by Shang Shan at a great cost. Could, in an instant, move several light-years away.
Yinyang Taiji, Isolation.
Lin Yuan's pupils, one yin and one yang. The Taiji world phantom instantly enveloped nearly 100 million miles. The space began to solidify. The world phantom, not a world, was a projection of the inner world cast to the outside, which could be many times that of the inner world. At 80 million miles away, a sound like hitting a wall came. The immense flesh mountain life form Shang Shan was bewilderingly forced to appear. This? Shang Shan looked around. Isolated space? World phantom. This is a technique mastered by only 2,000 space core models, and the inner world must at least reach a radius of 600,000 miles. What kind of monster is this Galaxy Master? Shang Shan felt somewhat desperate. Normally, the inner world of an 8th rank peak evolver was around 500,000 miles in radius. The larger the inner world, the stronger the 8th rank evolver's power. Relying on the immense inner world, it could even affect the external spacetime. If the individual's spatial awareness was sufficient, the influence exerted would even be greater. Now, Shang Shan was abruptly interrupted by this isolating force during its transposition. Lin Yuan took a step forward. He arrived above Shang Shan. Galaxy Master, I beg for mercy, just spare me once. The massive, fleshy mountain of life began to plead instinctively, as it couldn't withstand the strength displayed by the Galaxy Master now. Moreover, its teleportation method had been forcibly interrupted, and it couldn't perform a second instance for a short period. So the only way the massive, fleshy mountain of life could survive was by begging Lin Yuan. However, before it could finish speaking, Lin Yuan waved his hand. A massive force of the world, mixed with a soul attack, struck Shang Shan. The sound of crashing, the massive, fleshy mountain of life, Shang Shan, turned into an endless mist of blood. Lin Yuan then collected it all, as the blood essence of such special life was quite valuable, worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of cosmic crystals when made into a bloodline potion. I can feel that this special life hasn't died. Lin Yuan looked thoughtfully towards a certain direction. When he killed Ao Du, Lin Yuan did it smoothly, and the death of his opponent brought no confusion to Lin Yuan. But when killing Shang Shan, Lin Yuan felt a peculiar sensation. Karma, the true body of this special life, is still alive. Lin Yuan quietly thought to himself. The rules of karma are very mysterious, able to derive many special skills like the curse-killing skill. So long as life exists and interacts with the outside world, karma naturally forms. Therefore, entering the rules of karma is quite easy. For a being newly advanced to the 8th rank, almost all have an introductory understanding of the rules of karma. And once one enters the realm of the rules of karma, they can sense many karmic ties, just like Lin Yuan killing Ao Du, upon completely annihilating him, due to Ao Du's fall. The karmic connection between Lin Yuan and him ceased. But right after Lin Yuan killed Shang Shan, even though the opponent died, their connection still existed, which meant Shang Shan hadn't died. This is the simplest application of the rules of karma. Of course, it's easy to get started with the rules of karma. But mastering it in depth is incredibly difficult, even harder than fully comprehending the complete space rules. In a distant star domain, within a cosmic secret realm, I spent hundreds of thousands of years and countless efforts to refine an avatar. And just like that, it's gone? Shang Shan felt utterly hollow. For such a cautious special life, an avatar is very important. The true body hidden here with the avatar venturing out was meant to be foolproof. But now, the avatar is gone. To create another would take centuries or millennia, and even then, it wouldn't be as good as the previous one. My avatar, my treasures, my cosmic crystals. Shang Shan felt like crying but had no tears. I shouldn't have hesitated. Regret surged in Shang Shan's heart. Usually, after the Shadow Tribe retreated, it should have followed suit. After all, the one coming in to dominate that star region was the Human Civilization Alliance. But Shang Shan harbored blind hope, thinking that even if human civilization took over, it might not necessarily harbor any malice towards him. Not every human star overlord shuns special life forms. And even if the new human star overlord did bear ill will, couldn't one just flee when the time came? The new star overlord of human civilization, typically a newly advanced evolver to the 8th rank, had no chance of retaining such a being nearly at the peak of 8th rank. But who could have imagined that the Galaxy Master would be so monstrous? Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Thinking of the Galaxy Master's methods, Shang Shan couldn't help but shudder. All along, Shang Shan harbored no thoughts of revenge. Joking, right? Seek revenge? Against the Galaxy Master? Against the Human Civilization Alliance? Even the supreme beings of the Grand Starry Sky Alliance couldn't manage it. So what could he, a mere special life form, use to seek revenge? It would be fortunate enough just to save his own life. Chapter 429. The Tremor of the Milky Way Star Region. Although Lin Yuan was aware that Shang Shan wasn't dead, he didn't pay too much attention to it. With Lin Yuan's cultivation speed, he could crush Shang Shan now. What about later on? The one who should fear was the other party. Let's take a look at the spoils of war. Lin Yuan placed the giant planet back onto the star Dao. This planet, capable of being used as a nest by 2 8th-layer special life forms, was naturally extraordinary and was considered rare among high-tier life planets, enveloping tons of gentle cosmic energy. When Lin Yuan struck at Ao Du and Shang Shan, he also did his best to avoid damaging the planet, restraining the aftermath to the planet's surface. Special Life Blood Essence. The first thing was the large amount of blood essences that Lin Yuan had collected. Cosmic special life forms were rare, many of which were bred by the universe and incapable of reproduction. Their blood essences were far superior to humans. Human civilization had, long ago, attempted to integrate these special life forms' bloodlines into human bloodlines to get stronger offspring. This gave birth to bloodline potions. Through special means, extracting the blood of special life forms to produce bloodline potion essences. These could be integrated into one's own offspring's bloodline, and for those evolvers looking to establish a family, a single bloodline potion essence was enough to make the family prosper for long years. Speaking of which, I still have a 3-headed ice wolf blood essence potion. Lin Yuan seemed to recall something, a smile appearing on his face. The 3-headed ice wolf blood essence potion was one of the legacies left by 8th-layer evolutionist Oin, sourced from the special life 3-headed ice wolf. Back then, to create such a potion, evolutionist Oin had slaughtered countless 3-headed ice wolves. I could probably make 8 or 9 bloodline potions, Lin Yuan roughly calculated based on the blood left by Shang Shan and Ao Du. These 2 special life forms were gigantic, almost comparable to ordinary life planets. Naturally, their blood was much more plentiful than that of the 3-headed ice wolf. Although the 3-headed ice wolf was also a special life form, it was only dozens of meters in size, far less than Shang Shan and Ao Du. 8 or 9 bloodline potions. Even if one is only 3,000 cubic universe crystals, it adds up to nearly 30,000 cubic universe crystals. Lin Yuan was in a good mood. Many human 8th-layer evolvers, with all their treasures and weapons combined, were only worth about 10,000 cubic universe crystals. Yet now, Lin Yuan's gains, just from the blood essences, amounted to the entire fortunes of 3 8th-layer evolvers. This was still him possibly underestimating the bloodline potions. In reality, most bloodline potions were worth more than 3,000 cubic universe crystals each. Next, Lin Yuan began to explore the many treasures of the 2 special life forms. Really quite wealthy. No wonder they offered 20,000 universe crystals. Lin Yuan exclaimed in admiration. The 2 special life forms Shang Shan and Ao Du had amassed a collection of many treasures, ores, weapons, etc., summing up to more than 60,000 cubic universe crystals. Among them, Shang Shan contributed more than 40,000 cubic universe crystals, and Ao Du contributed over 20,000 cubic universe crystals. Including the bloodline essences made from these 2 special life forms bloodlines, Lin Yuan's income from this venture was estimated to be over 100,000 cubic universe crystals. Never expected to recoup the cosmic crystals for the planetary transformation so quickly? A smile spread across Lin Yuan's face. The B-level transformation of the Milky Way main star had cost Lin Yuan 100,000 cubic universe crystals. Lin Yuan initially thought that these 100,000 cubic universe crystals would only be earned back once the Milky Way star region was fully operational and trade channels were established. But now, by merely cleaning up 2 special life forms, he had broken even. Continue. There are a few more targets. Lin Yuan immediately headed in another direction. After obtaining detailed information on the many special life forms and alien lone walkers entrenched in the Milky Way star region, Lin Yuan classified these special life forms and alien lone walkers into two categories. The first type was like Shangshan and Ao Du, which fed on planets. Leaving them was detrimental and useless to the Milky Way star region. Thus, Lin Yuan's approach to these special life forms was either to kill them directly, permanently eliminating future troubles, or to drive them out of the Milky Way star region. The second type, which didn't impact the star region and could form a symbiotic relationship with the Milky Way star region, included some special life form groups capable of producing treasures and rare items with incredible effects on human evolvers. As long as these special life form groups were compliant, Lin Yuan was willing to let them stay and even assign protection for them. The targets Lin Yuan was now rushing towards were the first type of special life forms and alien lone walkers. After tasting the sweetness of success, Lin Yuan knew he had to move as fast as possible. Otherwise, once the news spread, those special life forms would probably have fled far away in fear. On a desolate planet, Lin Yuan's figure appeared, a massive shadow of world force suppressing the entire planet. Two alien lone walkers knelt down without hesitation. "Lord, spare our lives. Lord, spare our lives." Compared to Shangshan, these two alien lone walkers obviously lacked sufficient intelligence, not even recognizing the Galaxy Master. Even if they didn't know Lin Yuan's identity, just the oppressive force of the world power made them feel like it was the end of the world. This man in blue armor, markedly stronger than them, most likely a peak 8th layer powerhouse. "Sir, there must be some misunderstanding between us. I hope you can give us a chance," the two alien lone walkers pleaded extremely humbly. Chapter 430. Lin Yuan looked down from beyond the skies at these two alien lone walkers. "If you feed on the souls of life, when my fellow human citizens migrate here, won't they all become your sustenance? They cannot be allowed to remain." Lin Yuan pronounced judgment on these two different species. Taking advantage of the fact that human citizens have not yet migrated here, all potential threats must be eradicated, or there will be trouble later. Human citizens migrating here. The hearts of the two alien lone walkers turned cold. Indeed, they relished devouring living souls, but had they ever actually preyed on human citizens? However, before they could continue this train of thought, they felt their consciousness plunge into darkness. With a mere thought from Lin Yuan, the two alien lone walkers were reduced to dust. Theoretically, these two alien lone walkers had not lifted a finger against humans. But to be on the safe side, Lin Yuan couldn't be bothered to make distinctions. After all, they were both different species who enjoyed consuming souls, and keeping them around wouldn't create any value. It was simpler to kill them. As for expulsion, nearby were all human civilizations' star domains. To expel them to another star domain would be to harm the human citizens there, wouldn't it? Half a day later, Lin Yuan's figure appeared in front of a star. In the distance, an alien creature covered in scales and sporting a sharp horn fled in a frenzy. However, when the creature saw Lin Yuan standing in the distance, it came to an abrupt stop, filled with a look of despair. "Galaxy Master, I admit my methods have indeed been cruel, but that was all directed towards the Shadow Tribe," the horned alien could not help but say. Not long ago, it had learned that the Galaxy Master was hunting down some particularly brutal special life forms and alien lone walkers. But before it could react, the Galaxy Master appeared. Without a second thought, the creature began to flee frantically, although it did not understand how the newly advanced to the 8th rank Galaxy Master was able to easily slay several 8th rank aliens. But running was the right move. If that's the case, after the Shadow Tribe withdrew, why did you remain in this star domain? Lin Yuan looked at the horned alien, speaking calmly. "I." The horned alien was suddenly at a loss for words. It had stayed behind, naturally, to test the temper of the new Star Lord. If the new Star Lord was indifferent to such matters, it would continue, as before, to occasionally devour human citizens for cultivation. If the new Star Lord was assertive, then it would obediently leave. This was the common thought process among most special life forms and alien lone walkers. Little did they know that the Galaxy Master was so decisively lethal that they were given no chance for testing the waters. Whoosh! The next moment, the horned alien's form turned to dust. Lin Yuan, not wasting words with the horned alien, eliminated it with a direct strike and continued towards the next target. Lin Yuan, according to his own classification of those special life forms and alien lone walkers, would kill any that fell into the first category. The Star Lords of human civilization often acted with a gentle hand, generally not opting for kill unless there were direct harms to human citizens. But Lin Yuan's methods were clearly far more ruthless. In the cosmic starry sky where strength reigns supreme, if one day human civilization declined, those different species wouldn't hesitate to slaughter humans. Therefore, even though some alien lone walkers hadn't acted against human citizens, just harboring the thought was enough for Lin Yuan to show no mercy. To judge by actions, not intentions, was a standard applied within the same human race. In dealing with other species, unless they were submissive to human civilization or had formed alliances with it, Lin Yuan would scarcely hold back. Spare not those who deserve no quarter. Several days later, Lin Yuan had essentially purged the first category of special life forms and alien lone walkers. 90% of these special life forms and alien lone walkers died by Lin Yuan's hand, while the remaining 10% managed to escape by luck. It couldn't be helped. Acting against one at a time made it easy for news to leak. Some aliens' avatars were not in the Milky Way star region, and once the avatar died, the original could spread the message, warning some alien lone walkers to escape in time. But overall, Lin Yuan's departure from the Milky Way main star was fruitful, largely achieving his goal. Those first-class special life groups, alien lone walkers, have basically disappeared from the Milky Way star region. When Lin Yuan commenced a massacre of the special life groups and alien lone walkers in the Milky Way star region, it naturally alarmed other forces. These forces, mostly special life groups, were deemed by Lin Yuan as second-class, with the potential to aid in the development of the Milky Way star region, so they did not interfere. In this star domain, many 7th rank and 8th rank powerhouses have fallen. Just among those I know, there are 13 7th rank and 1 8th rank that have completely died. What exactly happened? Those 8th rank special lives, each with incredible means of preservation, who could easily kill them? Some of the alien strong ones I knew are also dead. A special life group named Floral Deity Race, where many powerhouses gathered, were discussing anxiously and uneasily. Although the Floral Deity Race is a special life group, its direct combat ability is not strong. Yet the race can reproduce normally. The members of the Floral Deity Race can brew a kind of exquisite liquor called Flower God Wine, which, when consumed by most life forms, can lead to a short period of mental clarity, tremendously aiding in the comprehension of rules and secret techniques. It was for this reason that during the Shadow Tribe's rule over this area, the Floral Deity Race managed to barely survive by offering Flower God Wine as tribute. Have you noticed that the 7th rank and 8th rank powerhouses who died all belong to those types with cruel methods, who would devour planets readily? A Floral Deity Race powerhouse, who looked like a young girl, suddenly said. She was a 7th rank powerhouse and now one of the strongest in the Floral Deity Race. However, the combat power of the Floral Deity Race's 7th rank powerhouses was basically at the bottom, and they were not even as strong as those among the human civilization who had the basic destructive capabilities of the 7th rank, solely through the use of 7th rank evolution elixirs. Yes, indeed it is so. Even 8th rank powerhouses have died. Yet our Floral Deity Race is still alive and well. The other Floral Deity Race powerhouses caught on and began to discuss among themselves. At this moment, a Floral Deity Race powerhouse with butterfly wings slightly changed her expression. She stood up, looked towards the rest of the Floral Deity Race powerhouses, and said, "Everyone, I have just received a message." This Floral Deity Race powerhouse looked around gravely. A message? What message? Hurry up and tell us. What message is it? One by one, the Floral Deity Race powerhouses inquired, knowing that a message received at this time was very likely related to the inexplicable deaths of the 7th rank and 8th rank members of the alien races. The one targeting those 7th rank and 8th rank members of the alien races is the Galaxy Master, a peerless genius of human civilization. His action was to eradicate all unstable elements within the Milky Way star region. The standing floral deity race powerhouse said with a solemn tone. The Galaxy Master? I know of this human genius, but wasn't he said to be newly advanced to the 8th rank? Yes, newly advanced to the 8th rank, slaying those almost at the peak 8th rank alien strong ones as if slaughtering pigs and dogs? The many floral deity race powerhouses were shocked. Those 8th rank special lives alien lone walkers who were adept at fighting with inconceivable methods, have they all been killed? There were two possibilities. One possibility is that these 8th rank special lives and alien lone walkers were all show and no substance, easily defeated. But this likelihood was virtually nil. If so, how could they have coexisted peacefully with the Shadow Tribe for so many years? Did they really take the Shadow Tribe for philanthropists? The other possibility was that the power of the Galaxy Master was beyond comprehension, which was why he could easily dispose of those special lives and alien lone walkers. I am grateful that our floral deity race is still of some use otherwise. Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.